I ignored my destiny once. I cannot do that again. Even for you. I'm the only one who knows that. At least I'm the only one with the will to act on it.
The Mad Titan Podcast with your host, Jay Washington.
What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's episode 94 of the Mad Titan Podcast. Me, the resident supervillain, Mr. Jay Washington. Just cracking everybody. Man, I told y'all I'm gonna have these out weekly. I'm doing my best to make sure I get them out. Even if I get it out later, y'all getting it. So calm the hell down. As you know, we've been busy, myself and Winston, with a lot of different stuff individually and collectively. So I'm glad to get this. But I'm gonna just get into it with who I got this week, man. I met this brother couple years ago in stand-up, and I think it was even before then, and we hung out at the fucking Big Pine Comedy Fest in Flagstaff, and then we just always kept in touch. And then I remember I was like, oh yeah, the man's in the nerd world too, got his own joint called Black Nerd Power. Has been on Comedy Central, Sirius XM. Mr. Richard Douglas Jones, what's happening, sir?
What's happening, man? Yeah, man. Yeah, we absolutely stayed in touch since Big Pine. Yeah, I can't remember at this point. It's been so long I don't remember. But yeah, we pretty much we've been playing cousins since day one.
Hey bro, we lost like 2.5 years. You be like, right. I don't. You got to tell people like, hey man, you got to give me the benefit of the doubt, bro.
Bruh, it's been at least 4 years, at least.
At
this point. Yeah.
So man, like for those who get to know you, tell them a little bit something about yourself again, being a stand-up and being a nerd and whatnot.
Stand-up comic, originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I still live here. And yeah, just been kind of nerdy my whole life, you know, like being nerdy is cool now, but like, you know, I was the only black kid when all my white friends wanted to play Star Wars, and they were like, you're Lando. It's like, I don't want to be fucking Lando. I want to be Han Solo. They're like, no, you're Lando. And I'm like, why? They're like, you know why you got it. And I'm like, all right. So, you know, like, yeah, Star Wars, comic books, all of that stuff, man. From day one, it's always weird nowadays for people to be like, I'm a nerd and this and this. And it's like, you're not a nerd. You're just somebody who likes Marvel movies. Like, get the hell out of my face. Like, you can't tell me who John Romita Jr. is, then you're not a nerd. Get the hell out of my face.
But you know what? But I'm gonna slightly interject real quick. One of the things I try not to do is the gatekeep. But I understand.
Sure.
When it comes to this quote unquote new level of nerddom, like you said, growing up, black kids growing up in certain, like, yo, unless you knew the actual other nerds in the area or found them, you were ostracized.
Done. What you doing? Reading? That's white shit. Why you doing that white shit?
I tell everybody, because of where I grew up, I grew up in like 76 in Winchester, harder like Chicago, 80s, 90s, gang violence at an all-time high. Like, yeah, I was on my porch reading comic books and drawing instead of being out on the block hanging with everybody. So they all knew, like, this is what he does. Yeah. But it was always still like, this weird ass nigga. Because, like, I did that. And, you know what I'm saying? Then when I became a wrestler, everybody was like, well, that tracks. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like nobody within the past 10 years, everybody said being a nerd has become popular.
Yeah.
Like, well, I gotta say more than 10. Jesus Christ, it's 2022. Over the past 20 years almost, being a nerd has become popular. But it's like those of us who have been in this, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately. And again, it's not the gatekeep, but it is just people who just, you know, now their whole nerd affinity is just the MCU. Right. Not even Marvel movies, just the MCU.
Yeah, bro. You new to this. I'm true to this. Like, what you talking about?
So stand up, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I talk a little bit about everything on here. So I'm going to tell everybody, like, in case you don't know, this is Barbershop Talk for Nerds. So we chop it up. You know what I'm saying? We say shit that may get people in their feelings. And I tell them all the time, I don't give a fuck. Because, like, people like, yo, I love it how you keep it real. And so stand up, man. What would you say, in your opinion, is the level as the state of the game right now?
It's the Wild Wild West, man. It is literally any and everything is fair game. Like, people go on and on and on about how these people are getting canceled, and like literally none of them have. Like, Dave Chappelle just got offered 4 new specials. You look at like somebody like Tony Hinchcliffe, the dude that does Kill Tony. I was down in Austin a couple of months ago, and on a Monday night, he had a line out the door. I was like, if this is canceled, sign me the fuck up.
Bro, we said a lot on Blurs in the Hood, me and Winston show. I'm like, yo, y'all got to take that term out your vocabulary because it doesn't mean shit. And especially when people try to go, oh, what about cancel culture? None of that is a thing.
Nothing.
None of that is a thing. Dave, like
you use that word a lot. I do not think it means what you think it means.
What do you think it means? What it means? You seem to have to misconstrue because it's like you said, Dave Chappelle is executive producing 4 specials for people, but still, Netflix was like, "Yo, you want to do this? You want to make this money?" You know what I'm saying? You get Aziz Ansari just dropped a Netflix special. You know what I'm saying? The Tony Hinchcliffe and Joe Rogan shit. I told everybody all day, every day. When Tony Hinchcliffe shit happened, I said, "Here's why I'm not saying nothing on it, because Tony Hinchcliffe gonna be all right."
He gonna be all right.
It's not gonna matter,
bruh. Like I said, I was just down in Austin a couple of months ago. He is more than all right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like all that shit, man. I'm like, people be sitting there like, oh well, they gotta get canceled. Like nobody on neither side of the fence are canceled. There is repercussions, and there's having to have taking responsibility for your actions. Those are those things, but cancellation would mean a motherfucker is never doing anything again.
Never. Right. And that's not happening. And here, long story short, stand-up is art. And in order for any art to stay relevant, it has to change. It has to evolve. And right now, that's what we're witnessing. We're witnessing the change of stand-up and the availability thereof, because the world that we live in now, you can literally watch anything on demand, and that kind of changes the game as far as comedy is concerned in a couple of different ways. One, we got the rise of the Insta niggas, and I mean, it's the truth.
You're not lying, though. You're not lying.
Is taking over, bruh.
Yeah, you're not lying, though.
And we got the rise of the instant niggas, and because of that, we have what I call short attention span theater. Like, and in that, if you're trying to get people's attention as a writer, you got to make sure that you're getting bangers, like the long setup. The long setup, you can't put the long setups on the internet. If you're going to do the long setups, it's for a live audience. But if you're putting stuff out for consumption on the internet, it's got to be bam, 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 bam. And
I wish people understood that, bro, because I've been seeing a lot of clips that are mediocre at best. That's something.
Best.
I don't know why people, like, I get you want to put content out, right? And we'll get to the nerd shit in a second. I get you want to put content out as a comic. You want to try to build them numbers because the machine we work in is all based on numbers. I get all that shit. But if you gonna put a bit out,
and ain't nobody laughing,
nigga,
can't do it. Can't do it. I've never understood that. Like, why would you put out a clip of your stand-up with nobody laughing at the joke? Not even
or
at least giggle,
laugh.
Bro.
No, I've seen tepid laughter at best.
Crickets.
And I'm like,
I've seen crickets.
But look, I digress. Let's get into it. Like I said, Barbershop Talk for Nerds. For those who don't know, I kick it off always with my Marvel news. And in Marvel news, the Spider-Man No Way Home writers, they're talking about the possibility of bringing the Venom symbiote into the MCU. Now, if you remember at the end of the post-credit scene, after Eddie Brock leaves, there's a little chunk of the symbiote sitting around, laying on a bar. And, Venom is a murderer because in Venom 2, he killed 9 people to go to a rave. But anyway, just want to make this up. Just want to make sure people understand that. But this is what happened during IGN Fan Fest. One of the writers, Eric Summers, says it leaves the door open for possibilities, as opposed to just seeing them go back and not seeing any symbiote. It just allows for some exciting possibilities in the future. The other writer, McKenna, said, I have no idea. That's above our pay grade. We're part of a bigger, larger universe that we're not the gods of. We're just mortals in. So my question is, what do you want? Do you want to officially see Venom in the MCU, or do you like the way the MCU Spider-Man is going?
If they're going to introduce Venom into the MCU, what they're going to have to do is, after everything resets, a little piece of Venom is left. The Venom symbiote that is currently occupying, what's his name?
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy, the guy that's occupying Tom Hardy. that does not need to be involved in any way in the MCU. Like his suit should not go. Like it should be like a little, like when it's like, okay, the universe is set back to normal. There's a little bitty piece of black goo that doesn't know what it is or where it's from, and it just happens upon Peter one day. And that, like, Venom needs Peter. In order for Venom to be what Venom is supposed to be, Venom needs Peter Parker first.
Yes, it does. Yes,
and in order for that to happen, they need their own scenario, their own situation wherein Peter and the suit can do their thing. The symbiote doesn't even go to Eddie until he's done with Peter, or until Peter's done with the symbiote. Mm-hmm. Eddie is Rice-A-Roni. Let's not sit here and prop this dude up like he was the first prize. Eddie is Rice-A-Roni. He's the consolation prize.
Yes, he is.
And so if they're going to do that, then they need to create space wherein, if it's going to continue to be Tom Holland, mm-hmm. He needs to be able to do Venom by himself his own way.
I agree. Because one of the things for me, like, okay, the suit talks, but the problem is the Venom suit doesn't have its insignia, and it only gets its insignia because it had been on the Spider-Man suit. Right. It doesn't have webbing because it only got webbing because it was on Spider-Man.
Exactly.
So we got an iteration of it, which is a very bastardized version, and Carnage was just abysmal to me. And so I agree. You can play this off where this piece of symbiote now, it has a little bit of a memory from that post-credit scene where he saw Tom Holland on the TV. Right. And all it knows is it needs to find a way to get to him. Right. So again, yes, the symbiote can go from body to body, whatever to whatever, till it gets to Tom Holland. Excuse me. Then you got to have this switch in Tom Holland because, of course, minus Spider-Man 3, y'all. Minus Spider-Man 3. We know that.
Let's just go. We're not talking Spider-Man 3. We're talking straight 300 Spider-Man 300 Todd McFarlane cover with the webs. That's what we at, bro. Like,
the change of Peter Parker, the attitude of all that shit. You need that. And I said not Spider-Man 3 because I never want to see an emo Spider-Man having a dance number ever the fuck again. Never. And so you need that to happen, and then you can build that. But also, to an extent, we don't need it right now. I think that's one of the things for me the MCU has done well. They've managed to, Kevin Feige has managed to mitigate a route where the normal characters we would see somebody go against because they didn't own ownership to them, they've had to go around it.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's worked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worked. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it all.
I was about to say,
out.
He's got, as of now, he's got about 2 movies worth of problems.
I mean, he's got about two movies.
Yeah, we've got time for Venom. Tom Hardy's grown. At this point, I got a feeling he'll pull a Hugh Jackman. He'll be Spider-Man a good 20 years. He don't care.
I just need to see in the next Spider-Man movie. I need for all of them to be in the MIT together, and they don't. Again, Ned and MJ don't know him. I just need for Ned and Peter to become friends just randomly. And one day, Peter walk in the room and see Ned blowing MJ back out. I just want to see that see what this nigga does.
Oh, man.
Because it's like, what can you say? You can't be like, hey, that's my girl.
Tough. That's going to be tough. But yeah, it kind of needs to happen.
Because then you can set up eventually Peter trying to get MJ. Ned becomes the bad guy, eventually turning into Hobgoblin.
I was about to say that's perfect. It absolutely sets him up to be Hobgoblin. Or they can make some completely different, brand new IP that they could pull a Harley Quinn and Ned could be some random magic user because apparently all Asian people in the MCU use magic.
Yeah. You know what? It is what it is. Somebody will explain it to me above my pay grade. Right. Anyway, there's another big name director that for some reason people keep asking their fucking thoughts on superhero films. And this one now was Francis Ford Coppola. And he's the latest one to voice his disdain in Marvel movies, which again, no one cares.
No one cares.
But I have to talk about it. So check this out. So during an interview with GQ, he singled out the rise in superhero quote unquote prototype cinema as a major factor in studios being hesitant to take a risk on lesser known or non-IP based features. This is what he said in the interview, quote, There used to be studio films. Now there are Marvel pictures. And what is a Marvel picture? A Marvel picture is one prototype movie that is made over and over and over and over and over again to look different. Now he keeps saying that because he's been trying to get his dream property, dream project, Megapolis, made for decades. And he said that basically Dune and No Time to Die fall into the same formula. This is what he said to that real quick. He said, even the talented people, you can take Dune made by Denis Villeneuve, an extremely talented, gifted artist. And you could take No Time to Die, directed by Cary Fukunaga, extremely gifted, talented, beautiful artist. And you could take both those movies and you and I could go and pull the same sequence out of both and put them together. The same sequence where the cars all crash into each other. They all have that stuff in it. They almost have to have it. If they're going to justify their budget, that's the good films and the talented filmmakers. Here's my problem with his statement. You can't be jaded because other movies are making money. And
right. Not to mention you had your time in the sun, bro. What you do with the time you had?
That's all it is. You had your moment, fam.
Right.
And I say this, and I said this before. You probably haven't heard me say this. Everyone isn't a cinephile. Everybody ain't that the beauty and experience of cinema in a theater.
Right.
Everybody's not about that.
He act like Sony Classic Pictures don't exist. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to make artsy shit, keep making art. Ain't nobody stopping you. Keep making it.
But he's like, I need the budget for it. Bro, you better find financiers.
Bruh, you, Sophia and Nicholas and Jason Schwartzman could pool your money together and make a movie. Like, ain't nobody trying to hear that, bruh. Like, you got a family full of people in the machine. Like, fuck out of here.
But the fact that people these directors keep finding their way to shit on Marvel movies, it's like, look, it'd be a different story if these were flukes, right?
Right.
If these were just like, oh, this isn't a thing. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is 14 years old, right? And with at least $8 billion films under the belt, at minimum.
Including the movie that beat Avatar.
Including that movie. And so to say that these movies are prototypical to the people who are spending their money at the box office, because that's what matters, they don't care.
Right. Yeah. To him, I say, so the fuck what? So what?
So the fuck what, man?
It not only is it prototypical, it's prototypical for human beings, period. Like you go back to like Gilgamesh, bro. Like one of the first stories that we know of that was written down was about a man doing extraordinary feats. Like, you know, Hercules is like, get out of here. Like we've been loving superheroes since we could understand what stories are. Like, get out of here.
I just don't. It's not even just that. It's that superheroes in the Marvel and DC concept are one thing, but a lot of other action movies we see, aren't they basically superhero movies is the same? Because what the fuck would you consider Jason Bourne?
That's exactly who I was thinking of. That's so crazy.
What would you consider Jason Bourne?
That's exactly what Jason Bourne is. Like he can fight a room full of men and take no damage. Like that's no, bruh. That's superhuman.
That's superhuman. And so you're sitting there just singling out because these are capes and costumes, but it's the same thing with a lot of these action dramas and all this different shit. Like there is no big difference. And so for him to keep doing it, all these directors to keep shitting on it. Also, y'all, like you said, y'all got the money to make these movies yourself. Y'all got the money.
But it goes back to what I was saying earlier about comedy. Just all art evolves. And in the face of that evolution, it is easier to complain than it is to evolve. It's easier to complain than it is to pivot. So you look at that. So you look at that. The same thing goes on with comedy, where people are like,
I was just going to say it.
And it's just like that. None of those things are truths. If anything, stand-up comedy remains the last bastion of free speech in the world. If you're complaining about what stand-up comedy isn't or what stand-up comedy isn't doing, you're basically telling me that you're unwilling to pivot. You're unwilling to evolve. You're unwilling to take a look at yourself and your art and say, what could I do to make it better? Or what could I do at the very least to keep it relevant, short of complaining?
Oh, you said it best. So I'm going to just go ahead and move on to the next subject. All right. So we all know that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is going to have a bunch of fucking cameos. Everybody and their mama's in it. Patrick Stewart is officially in it. So we're like, oh my God, the MCU. Patrick is in. I was like, yeah, but Don't get too excited. That's just one of those people. But one of the biggest questions is, will Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool be in it? And of course, people can't let this man live now. Like, remember how they harassed the fuck out of Andrew Garfield about No Way Home when he was promoting a whole other movie? Well, Ryan Reynolds was recently asked about if he was in Multiverse of Madness, and listen to what he had to say.
Are you in the Doctor Strange movie?
I don't know. That was a 1978 leg hold trap from Russia. Like, I saw that from 100 miles away. Yeah, I'm not really supposed to. I guess I'm really not supposed to say anything about that, but I'm really not in the movie.
I'm not supposed to say anything, but I'm really not in the movie. You just said something, and you could be lying, and you could be lying to me.
I could be an unreliable narrator, but I promise you I'm not in the movie. Yeah.
All those people
we're good.
Not in that movie.
We're good. There's a team of people that will neutralize you as soon as you leave here.
Of course he has to say that. If Patrick Stewart is in it, the likelihood of Ryan Reynolds being in it is pretty high.
Deadpool will kill the Fox universe. He will be the one who murders the Fox universe.
Sure.
Which I am totally fine with.
I can't wait. He'll single-handedly kill all the X-Men. He'll kill them all off, and he'll behead Wolverine in front of everybody, and just like, you see, it's done. Okay,
it's done. He's not coming back as Wolverine.
They're not coming back ever.
Like, he may even kill. I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, "Oh shit, I forgot McAvoy," and he goes out trying to get it.
Yeah.
So
He's like,
the biggest thing though is just like, let the movie come out.
Let it come out. It's okay to be surprised. Just be surprised. It's a movie. It doesn't matter.
It's fucking it annoys the shit out of me about this, bro, because again, yes, we know this movie because now the multiverse gives us so much and all these Marvel properties from everywhere and all these different people. Yeah. But the best part would be, surprise, you see these niggas on screen.
And I'm gonna tell you, that's what I did. I let myself be surprised about the new Spider-Man. And when I finally, because I knew about Tobey Maguire, and at the time when I found out Andrew Garfield was up in the air, and I was like, nope, I don't want to hear anything else. And so when Andrew Garfield, who is my favorite Spider-Man, showed up on the screen, I literally cheered. I was like, I know he can't hear me, but I don't care. I was happy to see Andrew Garfield because I wanted that surprise. Let me be surprised.
So I just brought up Patrick Stewart, right? And I did say that we hear that voice when Doctor Strange is presented to the Illuminati, which that is believed to be in the trailer. You've seen the trailer, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, just want to make sure you've seen that. So you know that voice, we should tell him the truth. So
tell him the truth.
During an interview for Picard, again, asking a nigga about another project while they're promoting something else. This is what he said. He was interviewed by Kevin McCarthy. Patrick Stewart said, quote, "I must say, before bedtime on Sunday evening, I had plenty of communications." He said, "Friends and some people I hardly knew, all making references to the trailer. Is that you? Is that you?" He said, "Well, of course, I was just at home waiting to watch football. So how could it possibly have been me? We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? People have been intimidating my voice since I came on stage 60 years ago. So I can't be held responsible for that." Like, I love the answer, but again,
love it. Great. Just shut up and be surprised. Like,
these niggas just.
Yeah, just there. I love it. I think Kevin Feige is just like, yo, don't say shit. Huh?
He's like that. Hey, bro.
Did you sign an NDA? Huh?
You doing too much. Kevin Feige's like this. I need you to go stand by your window real quick. No, just stay on the phone with me. Just stay on the phone with me.
Take a little step to the left.
No. I want you to look out the window. Open the door. All right. Now, open the blind. Okay. Now, while you're looking around, right? You don't see nothing. Now look at your chest. See that red dot? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now, if you say anything,
you say one more goddamn
word.
Doctor Strange in the multiverse.
Just say one more. Listen,
you'll see it again.
You'll see it again, but I promise it'll be the last thing. Listen, you won't be able to trace this call. I have what's called burner phones. Don't ever call me back.
Don't ever call this number.
Don't ever call this number. I'll call. Now you got to hang up the phone and tell your wife, or spouse or partner. Who was that on the phone? They was asking about my car's extended warranty. Like, you got to lie some shit, nigga. You got to lie some shit, nigga.
But yeah, man, be surprised. Like, because if I'm not surprised, I'm gonna start nitpicking because they got the Illuminati without T'Challa, and I'm already pissed. So like, don't just let me be surprised.
Here's the thing about that. A lot of people have brought that up because T'Challa is part of the Illuminati. What the possibility, which seems like they may pull it, that Michael B. Jordan will be a T'Challa variant on the council. If that's the case, I'm fine. But again, because one of my buddies is the E-Man, is the homie that started the Recast T'Challa movement, right? And I've stated this openly to him and to many others. Let Marvel do what they gonna do. You cannot control a studio's hand.
You can't. But in my opinion, the recasting would have been the smartest play.
Again, what did we just say about the cameos in Doctor Strange?
Yeah, for sure. That may tie it all up. I'm sure with that they will most likely answer all of those questions.
And that's the thing. I think people are like, no, we need a response from them now. Like, no, you don't. Let them. That's what I mean. Let them do what they gonna do.
Right.
They already said this T'Challa's dead. Right, in the universe, they openly made it stated that this universe's T'Challa is gone.
Yeah,
another T'Challa can come in, the universe can get reset, and
or not even T'Challa, just this universe is what we know to be the Black Panther is gone. That person, so it could be another person with the same title from a different universe. In 616, there have been multiple people who have held the title of T'Challa, including Shuri.
Right. But the problem is, again, fans have gotten this, I hate to call it this word, but can't think of anything else. The sense of entitlement where they have to have it known right now and not let it play out to the way this man has given us 24, 25, 27 movies damn near.
Right. He's like, I got this. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
I know what the fuck I'm doing. Let him do it.
Right.
Because you don't hear it right away doesn't mean it's not happening. And I think that's the part a lot of people forget.
Not to mention, again, prolonged, fulfillment. Just think of how excited you're going to be to finally see it in the theaters.
I digress. So we found, I've said this for a while, and it's been officially confirmed. Avengers Endgame was the last official Avengers movie that we're getting for a while.
Good.
This is what Kevin Feige said during a recent episode of Marvel Studios Assembled. He said the Marvel Studios and the Marvel Cinematic Universe is now past their 10th anniversary, and with the release of the final Avengers movie, we've completed a 22-movie Infinity Saga. A lot of people are like, what do you mean by that? I said this for the longest. We were not going to get another Avengers movie no time soon. We'll get Young Avengers. We'll get West Coast Avengers. We'll get the Thunderbolts possibly. We're not getting the Avengers.
We'll get X-Men finally. That's really all I care about. I've never liked the. If I'm being truthful, I've never liked the Avengers, bro.
All right, I'm glad we're having this discussion.
Never liked the Avengers. I cannot wait for the X-Men to finally get on screen. Stop playing with me. That's the whole purpose of this goddamn merger, is so we can get X-Men in the MCU.
So you want them now. I
want them. I don't necessarily want them now. I want them to wrap up this multiverse shit. And again, one more thing that would be left over from the multiverse thing, because what's probably going to happen is they're going to do like DC did and combine them all, and some shit will kind of lap over.
Yeah, the Earth Prime shit.
Cancel each other out, and then from that they'll be like, "Oh, what do you mean? They've always been mutants?" And it'll just be kind of that thing. So that's how I want that to work.
Okay, I think that's the best way.
At the very least, I don't necessarily want the X-Men right now, but at the very least, I'm curious to see how they introduce the concept of benevolent mutation in the MCU.
I thought personally, I was under the impression that for years, Eternals could have been the key. And I say that because have you ever read the Dream and Celestial saga?
No.
Okay. So the story is they were all Eternals. Sprite, as they got older, Sprite put them under spell, so they forgot who they were. Until some shit happened, Sprite had to wake them up to let them know, yo, you're actually a god of sorts.
Right.
Well, I thought they were going to do them being dormant in the mind, and the snaps take them out of it.
Because that would have made sense. That would have definitely made sense. And,
on top of that,
throughout the years, they've created in their forgetfulness. They've had progeny, and those progeny become mutants. Okay.
Not even that. Not even
Okay.
that.
What's up?
The Force snapped. Remember in Avengers Endgame, Rocket said when Thanos snapped, Earth was ground zero for a level of cosmic radiation on a proportion never seen before. Right? 3 more snaps happened on Earth. Cosmic radiation, instead of saying the atom bomb, changes people's DNA.
Okay.
That's how you get mutants now.
That's how you get. Well, you could do that for mutants and the Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, I believe, are popping up out of Quantum Mania. I believe that instead of doing the negative zone, they're stuck in the quantum realm.
In the quantum, okay.
I think they're stuck since the 60s.
So they're gonna do them like kind of like Challengers of the Unknown, and they got stuck, and they bring them back. Okay.
They come out in the post-credit scene.
Okay.
Like they won't be in the whole movie. The post-credit scene will be the quantum realm opening up somehow, and the 4 of them spit them out.
Okay.
And it spits them out.
That.
You know what I'm saying?
I kind of like that idea. I kind of like the idea that we're pushing past origin stories. Like it's just not needed anymore. Like we don't need to see Uncle Ben die anymore. We don't need to see the necklace of pearls break anymore. We don't need that anymore.
We don't need to see them go into space.
I'm with it.
Right. We don't need to see them go into space. They've already been there. Like, again, they understand that there is a Black Panther. Fantastic Four number 52. They understand that certain things are the world are the way they are. You know, and then Latveria can be somewhere near Eastern Europe or somehow affected through everything. I believe Namor shows up in Black Panther Wakanda Forever because, again, that one line in Avengers Endgame, an underwater earthquake. And then when Nat was like, she was like, did you take care of it? And Okorie was like, it was an earthquake underwater. It took care of itself. That fucks up Atlantis. Namor was like, you bitches.
Right. And
He's
so
like,
Namor, well, that's really kind of the best way to play that character. It's was Throne of Atlantis, you know, to portray Aquaman as the pissed off eco-terrorist. That's really kind of the best way to go with Namor. Yeah, you fucking with my home, now I'm fucking with you.
All right, so let's move on. So now Loki season 2, which is happening, they are getting new directors. Now check this out. A couple of the Moon Knight directors are taking over 6 of the majority of the 6 episodes.
Really?
So yeah, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, they are taking over. Now this is reported by Deadline. They're going to co-direct the majority of the episodes, hopefully leaving the door for Kate Herron, who did the first season, to possibly come back for one more. And this is crazy. Now, they worked on shows like Archive 81, The Twilight Zone. Of course, they did a couple of episodes of Moon Knight. And they said their shots went so smooth with Moon Knight that Marvel was already looking over projects they wanted to put them on immediately. And Loki season 2 jumped to the top of the list.
Nice.
Dude, I'm excited. Look, Loki season 2 for me at first, when I heard about it, I was like, wait, what? Like this, because I was under the impression all of these Disney Plus series were just one-offs. Nah, man. They're talking about season 2 of Bucky and the Bird too, man. Well, after the movie drops.
Yeah.
We'll see the movie. Well, here's the thing. I just want to see, and I know a lot of people mad, I want to see if Bucky actually shoot his shot at Sam's sister. I just want to see him shoot his. I want to see him shoot his shot, nigga. Like,
hey, bro, let me tell you. That time in Wakanda, Bucky got a taste for dark meat, and he ain't
changed his nigga life, boy.
He ain't been back since, baby.
That nigga saw Io. He was like, "Oh yeah, she did have that activation code on
that ass.
She had that activation code on the nigga." All right, let's move over to DC, man. It's DC news now. The Batman drops on March 4th, and Batman director Matt Reeves says he now says an HBO Max series featuring Catwoman has been discussed. It's not official, but you already know he is doing the Gotham PD series, but there's a potential for a Catwoman series. This is what he said, quote, "I've talked to the HBO Max folks, and what we're really trying to do is launch this world. If the world embraces this, we have a lot of ideas for what we want to do, and we for sure want Selena to continue. Their relationship, her and Batman, are what they are to each other, and to me, that's the heart of the movie. It is the push-pull between the two of them and the way that she's going to evolve and where all of that will go." He said, "We've talked about a lot of things, but it all depends on, we're about to release this movie, and it comes down to how people receive it. Do you want to see a Zoe Kravitz Catwoman series?"
Yes.
He said it with the straightest face ever. I wish I could say that. I wish I could say that. Yes, yes.
It's the biggest no-brainer ever. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If she wants to do that with that character, by all means, go for it. I think she got screwed in the MCU anyway, so yes, go for it.
What was she supposed to do this? Oh,
not MCU, Fox.
When she was
Fox.
Angel. Yeah, when she was
Angel.
Angel. Yeah. I mean, again, this is is it getting screwed or is it a blessing in disguise when you think about it? Because like we saw it, don't get me wrong, she was a part of a good X-Men friend, the good.
She really was. Again, but both of the characters of color got a raw deal.
Darwin caught the
don't even get me started on Darwin, bro. Like your whole power is to evolve,
to survive,
and evolve any situation instantly. But you could fuck out of here.
For those who don't understand what we're talking about, in X-Men First Class, Darwin,
which is a good X-Men movie, by the way.
It's a good movie overall.
Yeah.
But this nigga Darwin, his whole legitimate power is no matter what happens, his body will evolve and adapt to keep him alive no matter what. And this nigga is murdered by Sebastian Stan by putting a nuclear bomb in his chest and was like, adapt to that. And he is supposed to.
He's supposed to be able to adapt to that. He should literally be able to be like, okay,
his
and adapt to it.
Yeah, his body on the inside will conceal it and make it where he won't die.
One of my favorite Darwin moments in the comic books is during World War Hulk. And Hulk is like, he shows up at the X Mansion and he goes square up with Darwin. And Darwin's mutation just teleports him away because he.
It's like, nah, nigga, we good.
He's like, nah.
You know what? I thought about gravel. Nah, I thought about stone. You know what, nigga? We're gonna get you up out of here.
No. Guess
you know
what?
When your mutation.
Smoke. I don't want any. I don't want none of that smoke.
Nigga, when your mutation is basically like this.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
When your mutation is like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Like, we gone, nigga. We're out of here, bro.
But back to DC. Did you see the finale of Peacemaker?
Oh, we're gonna talk about that in a second.
Okay. All right.
That's on my list, sir.
Do you think?
I got this, sir. I want to get these stories out the way before I talk about the great shit I want to talk about.
All right.
Warner Brothers is potentially doing a Wonder Twins live action movie. And Adam Seiskell, who wrote Black Adam, is set to write and direct it. The Wonder Twins, dog.
We'll see. Look, like a movie. This sounds like a CW show, bro. Like, don't make it a movie. Make it a CW show. Like, nigga, come on, man.
Who is about to pay $20 just to finally hear the one line Wonder Twin powers activate?
Bruh. Make that a CW show. Put that right. Stargirl and the Wonder Twins. Like, come on, man. Don't.
I didn't even finish watching second season of Stargirl. I should have.
I didn't make it through the first season of Stargirl. I tried. Once I got to the HBO Max DC shows, I kind of gave up on the CW. Like,
it was easy, real easy, nigga. Shouts out to all my friends at Doom Patrol, nigga.
Bruh, I gave up. I gave up on Flash. I watched the second season of Black Lightning the final season of Black Lightning. It was done. Like, I didn't watch it live. I haven't watched The Flash in like 2-3 years. Arrow, like once I made myself watch the final season of Arrow, and I was just like, I'm good. I was like, no, Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol's amazing.
Doom Patrol's the greatest shit. Like, I've interviewed one of the writers, and another writer is a friend. And like, I'm always talking, like, we interviewed me and Winston, my co-host from Lurks in the Hood. We interviewed one of the writers on the show, and he was like, yeah, we watch y'all reviews sometimes and be like, yo, why didn't we do that? I'm like, hey, nigga, we can go in this room if you want to put us in this room.
Right. Yeah. Hey, WGA, baby. Come on,
I can be an assistant, nigga. I ain't even got to have a job. I can start sliding you niggas note cards.
Right. Give me like our story editor. I'll take that.
I'll take that
all day.
Here's the last bit of DC news that I have that I want to say before I talk about the Peacemaker finale.
All right.
The Oscars are happening, and this is tickling my soul so much to talk about this.
Uh-oh.
The Oscars are happening, and the Oscars are allowing they're introducing a best popular film category. And this year will feature a fan favorite prize decided by Twitter. But the list of one of the movies that is not eligible is Zack Snyder's Justice League. So this is what the rules stipulate.
Why? Because it didn't come out. It technically didn't come out.
They say an entrant's favorite movie can be of any of the eligible movies for the 94th Academy Awards. All movies are displayed on the Oscars website. Home movies or films which are or were not eligible cannot be used as a favorite movie. That was one of them. It was not a real movie in this release, in a sense.
Yeah.
So
I mean, technically they're right, but like it feels like they just like, you know what? We're doing this specifically for you, Zack Snyder.
But they said it's not eligible, nigga. It's not. And
That's
I
what
know.
I'm saying.
And it's like the thing is, this is the thing I keep saying, and a lot of people keep forgetting this. For as quote unquote passionate as Zack Snyder fans started out with the release of the Snyder Cut, it has evolved to how annoying the cult has become. And no executives, nobody wants to deal with that shit.
Nah.
I keep telling people, like, what do you mean? Nobody wants to be harassing their emails by random ass people just sending hashtag restore the Snyderverse
over and over. Yeah, nah, dude, just let it go. Just look, we get it. It's a great film. It's a great cut. We get it. Joss Whedon, shit on your vision, but like, yeah, just tell your people to go on somewhere, bro.
Nigga, I cried laughing
That's
reading that
hilarious.
because I know niggas on Twitter that was like, "How is it not gonna be clearing and everything?" And it got these streaming numbers. I was like, y'all do understand. This whole thing was not about streaming numbers. It was about getting subscribers, and it did not move the needle to get the subscribers they wanted.
Not to mention, it's a remix. Y'all getting all bent out of shape by the remix. This was not a theatrical release. This is a remix.
This is a remix. The original version, you know what? Y'all got mad over the director's cut. It's the director's cut. It's literally what it was. And so people was like, how are we not gonna get in there? And guess what? It's not getting it. And I laughed.
Nothing.
I laughed so fucking hard. Hilarious. All right, let's move on, man. Peacemaker season finale was this past week. Also, before I talk about the season finale, congratulations to director and writer James Gunn and Harcourt Jennifer Holland on getting engaged, man. They have been together 7 years. They just got engaged. They announced it yesterday. James Gunn posted it to his Twitter. Also, if I didn't say it last week, season 2 of Peacemaker is officially happening, which dog, overall, before we go and break it down, overall thoughts on the finale.
Just look, not even just the finale, the show in general, just from start to finish. He was certainly one of the standouts in the Suicide Squad. And when it was first proposed that they were going to take that character and build a whole series around him, I was like, no way. And then, of course, just because, holy nerd of obligation days, you got to watch at least the first episode. And by the time I saw the opening number, I was like, this show is fucking amazing.
Nigga, I was done. I was done. Sold.
I was done. And like, you look at the archetype of the wrestler turned actor, and you think that Dwayne Johnson is a fluke. And you realize that he's not, because if you know anything about wrestling, them niggas is acting from the moment they come out the locker room. I know who I'm talking to. That's why I'm saying it.
You're talking to a 22-year wrestler right now.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But like, you go into it, with that block in your head. But no, John Cena is an amazing actor. Like, dead ass. He's such a good actor.
I told everybody from the first episode, I was like, why does this nigga yell freedom while he fucking? I was done. It's, again, Peacemaker. I tweeted this. I said, James Gunn took a character nobody knew about.
Nobody.
Because nobody can sit there and say, oh, yeah, I was a Peacemaker fan. You're a fucking liar.
No, you weren't.
You're a fucking liar.
You're lying.
Nobody was a Peacemaker fan.
Nobody.
He took Peacemaker, re-envisioned Vigilante from what happened in Arrow, gave us those two, gave niggas a Batmite reference.
Yeah.
Batmite, Kite Man, and brought the butterflies.
Catman, the butterflies. Just the fact that he has no fucks to give for the Justice League at all. The cameo scene at the oh my god.
I love. Let me tell you something. Oh yeah,
Oh
by the
my
way.
god.
So there was supposed to be a Superman, a Batman and a Cyborg supposedly. But here's what people don't understand about a Batman thing: it cost to use Batman. I don't know why people don't get that.
No.
It costs like $10 million to use this dude. And you are not going to use Cyborg because of obvious fucking reasons.
Right.
You're not going to use that Cyborg. And I know some people
you're not gonna use Ray Fisher. Yeah,
you're not going to use Ray Fisher. No.
Ray Fisher ain't putting that shit on.
Warner Brothers ain't touching that man with a 10-foot pole.
It'll cost at least another $10 million to get Ray Fisher, not Cyborg, but it'll cost $10 million to get Ray Fisher for sure.
And Ray Fisher is not worth $10 million. Let's just be honest.
He's not.
He's not a $10 million actor. So to do that and to get Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller to play along, and Jason Momoa say, "That nigga Peacemaker walk past holding hardcore, go fuck a fish." He said, I'm so tired of this fucking rumor. And then Barry say, it's not a rumor. And fuck you, Barry. And the problem is also people got mad. The Snyder Cut fans got mad at that. Why are you mad?
Why?
Look, why are you? First of all,
literally just gave you what you wanted.
Jason Momoa, if anybody is gonna say "fuck you, Barry," have you not realized what type of Aquaman he is?
Yeah, he's like Jason Momoa's Aquaman pledge Kappa something. It's like do you like your Aquaman doing keg stands? That's our guy.
Does your Aquaman have a considerably questionable track record with consent? That's our Aquaman.
That's our Aquaman.
Not saying that Jason Momoa has that, but I'm just saying if you look at that Arthur Curry,
Aquaman is very much a dude bro Aquaman.
It's a dude bro Aquaman. So of course he's gonna be like, I hate that fucking room. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
But dude, I love this finale though. For the fact,
oh god, yeah. Let's talk about for sure. The
number one thing you didn't know who was, but minus Peacemaker, you didn't know who was gonna make it.
No.
And I loved it because at the point you thought everybody was dying.
Yeah, because at some point everybody got pretty badly wounded, with the exception of Danielle. She hit her head, but out.
When she put first time she put it on, it was like activate human torpedo and flew off. Yeah. And then the second time when you got Peacemaker talking to Goth, and then she's just giving him the sob story, and he's just being active. And she was like, "So what do you have to say?" And then they said, "Activate." But her limp ass body just takes. Nigga, her body was just dead weight. God. I was like, "No!"
I died. I was like, "No!"
I thought Economos was out of here.
Yeah, I thought she was gone. Yeah,
I thought Economos. I thought he was dead after he gave that heartfelt speech about his beard.
Yeah. I thought he was gone, and then Hardcore. I thought Hardcore was gone.
I thought she was shot up. I was like, "She out of here!
Yeah,
she out of here! She
gone!" I thought she was gone, and I thought a butterfly was going to take her over, and she was going to be the big bad for season 2.
Yeah, I thought that was about to happen. Yeah. Vigilante, I thought that nigga was gone. That nigga got stabbed and shot.
Yeah, he did. Again. That dude, and then in the end, when he pulled his IV and just jumped out the window, it's just like, dude, you could have just walked out. You could have just left.
You could have just. You didn't have to. Bro, they not fucking with you. You good.
No, you're free to leave whenever you want.
Bro, you saved the world. Okay, you are good. Okay, yes, you are on Argus's radar now, but you are okay. Like I loved it though, because again, you see so much that happens and everything falls in its place. And I wonder now, we're going into season 2, because you watch Adebayo give that press conference and dry snitch on her mama, and to watch Amanda Waller go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that was fun.
Because my thing is, we know Amanda Waller doesn't give a shit about anybody.
Not at all.
She said it before. I will do whatever I have to do to protect this country. Will she come after her daughter?
I think they will. I think if they're smart, I think season 2 is they do kind of a road trip. They're on the run in the RV, trying to just kind of clear their name. I think is kind of what we're gonna see in season 2. Just me kind of, just dime store kind of, screenwriting, as it were. That makes the most sense because they spent a lot of. If you notice, in the first season, they spent a lot of time in driving in big vehicles. Like there's a couple of RV scenes where they kind of drive to missions, listening to music, and so
Yeah.
I think they may incorporate more of that into the next season. Just them kind of in a big RV, kind of on the run.
Well, I think maybe you might be right, but if I'm not mistaken, aren't their names cleared because of the speech she gave? She's an
I don't
Argus
remember.
agent, so she basically says that Vigilante and Peacemaker were working in a
We're
Black Ops
acting on behalf
project.
of Argus. Okay.
Right. So, and then she mentions the fact about the alien invasion, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's kind of like I can see them doing different missions, but I don't think they need to be on the run per se. I think if they're on
Okay.
the run from anybody, they're on the run from Waller.
From Waller, yeah.
Yeah, but not like the government themselves or police,
Okay.
because like again, but somebody got to explain how a whole police force is in a wooded.
It's gone.
It's
It's
gone,
gone.
nigga. They murdered the whole force, nigga.
I do think Waller in that case somehow Waller's gonna get her pound of flesh, and that I can't wait to see.
Her pound of flesh is gonna be nasty because again, Economos goes back to Belle Reve at the end.
Mm-hmm.
He goes back to the prison where he was working at. So
right.
I don't, again, I said this, and I will always reiterate this. James Gunn is one of my favorite directors for his comedic vision. Number one, if you know where he came from, his trauma background, you know what you're gonna get. But also, he is able to take these obscure ass characters, and at the Suicide Squad, we were not supposed to fall in love with Peacemaker
or Polka Dot Man or Ratcatcher.
Catcher 2, nigga, not Ratcatcher, Ratcatcher 2. We weren't supposed to fall in love with these characters, but we did. Nigga, I felt sorry for Starro because if you think about it, Starro literally said, nigga, I was minding my own business. Like, and y'all came and snatched me up.
Yeah. Y'all
and now you here. Y'all brought me here, nigga. So like Starro knows what niggas in America went through. What I'm saying, like, all right, let me go to my emails from the Mad Titan Podcast email. Y'all can email me, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com. You can also call the hotline, 818-276-6947, 818-276-6947. I do have a hotline call I'll get to in a second, but let me get to these emails. The subject is Sondheim and comic book movies. It's from one of the members of my Supervillain Squad, Jolene. And this is what she says. She says, hey, Jay, I'm listening to the newest episode and regarding the Sondheim comment about comic book movies. I feel like most of these directors and commentators, when they say, quote unquote, comic book movies, they all mean MCU movies. And I kind of agree with Sondheim. Even with Eternals having a sex scene, I felt this so lacking of anything sensual or sexual. Like it just felt so sterile. And I know a lot of fellow friends, most of whom are queer, fear X-Men in the MCU because it's so lacking of queerness and sex. And it's pretty much the X-Men these days. Like, they're not going to bring in the X-Men to talk about how Scott, Logan, and Jean are a throuple. So that's from Jolie. Now, if you remember I talked about in last episode, Steven Sondheim was like, ain't nobody fucking. And James Gunn put up all the scenes, was like, oh yeah, they fucking these shows.
I was about to say, they fucked in Jessica Jones. They fucked in Luke Cage.
Nigga, black dudes asking women, "Do you want to get coffee?"
You trying to get some coffee, right?
You trying to fuck?
Hey, if your bed ain't broke at the end of the night, I ain't do
shit right.
I ain't do it right, bro.
If we ain't got to go to Goodwill and get you into a headboard, then we ain't have fun.
I ain't do it right.
We ain't have fun. But what do you think about that with the X-Men and them not, the lack of sex in movies? Like, do you think it's a necessary thing, or I think I get the queerness part because again, a lot of the characters that we're seeing in the comics are openly members of the LGBT community.
I mean, we don't necessarily have to have a sex scene. Just show them waking up in bed together. That's enough. It's all implied. Like, you don't like sex for sex sake. Why? What is the point of it? Like, there's no point of it. Like we said again. A prime example is a great use of sex scene in superheroes is the first time Luke and Jessica hook up and they're both like, I don't want to hurt you. He's like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. It's so, you know what I mean?
But neither one knows the other is superpowered. Like
Right,
they just strongly fucking like.
If you're just trying to establish and or show relationships, then gratuitous sex isn't necessary. Again, you could say North Star and his husband waking up next to each other and hey, good morning, and then one of them gets up and goes like that's really kind of all you need.
It's funny because remember, people didn't lose their mind because of the quote unquote sex scene in Eternals. They lost their mind because of the kiss when Phastos kisses his husband. And I was like, yo, these niggas just peck kissed. And first of all, Brian Tyree Henry is probably the straightest nigga ever because you saw this nigga's face. I need y'all to look at that scene again.
Right,
this nigga had to remind himself, I'm getting the bag. I'm getting the bag. I'm getting the bag. I'm getting the bag.
He's like, niggas ain't gonna never let me live this down.
That's literally like, yo, niggas like, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, what's the big deal? But for some dudes, let's just be real, they just don't want to do it. There's some women who just don't want to kiss women. It just is what it is. You know, and it's not trying to be disrespectful to any communities. It just is what it is. But Brian Tyree Henry, that nigga's tight up his soul.
I know he was. He was like, these niggas. Like, I can't get my hair cut no more.
I can't go back to the barbershop.
Can't go back to the shop, bro.
Hey, say that nigga walk in the barbershop, everybody gonna be like, hey fam, this you? This you? Got that picture dead up. Hey, bro, this you?
Right.
But no, I do get it. Again, I think.
Hey, I ain't mad at him. Get that mouse money, baby. Get it.
Let me tell you something. If I'm keeping a buck with y'all right now on this show. If I'm doing a Marvel movie that I know 9 times out of 10, depending on my role, I'm signed on for more than one movie. Because he's a member of the Eternals. He's not in just one movie.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere. So if I'm signed up,
he's got at this point, he's got at least a 3-picture deal.
Right. You telling me all I got to do is kiss my husband? Come in, nigga. Let me tell you something.
Bro, let me tell you. Hey, if the money right, hey, give me the Alabama ski poles, bro. Hey, bro.
Let me tell you something. If the money right, I'm talking. Hey man, let me talk to you. You want to run lines? Let me talk to you in this trailer real quick, nigga. Listen, right. How much you get? Look, we getting this bag. Okay? Right. You might do that. I don't do this normally. Okay.
Right.
Just let you know.
Just letting you know.
I'm gonna do this.
Right.
For the bag.
Right. You pay me the right amount of money. I don't care what you think. I can just buy new friends, nigga.
Right. Nigga, I will buy my own barbershop, nigga.
Right.
Yeah. Nigga, I won't have to go to that barbershop. Oh, you got jokes? Nigga,
I got jokes.
Whose name is on the shop? You can be gone. You can be gone. All right, let me go to my next email. It's from Joshua Alicia. Says the subject says campy. Says, hey Jay, as always, glad to see your pod being out on the regular. I know you hear it plenty, but I really do appreciate it when I commute for work. I have 2 questions, one comics related and one merch related. Question number 1. In looking at the MCU slate for the future, I decided to delve into the Fantastic Four for the first time. I've always been aware of them and generally get their story, but outside of Doctor Doom, I've never really cared for their stories. I'm reading some of the OG run, and man, let me tell you, it's campy with a capital C. Would you recommend any particular run of the FF, or this is kind of what they are, and it doesn't get much better stuff with Doom?
Oh boy, ooh, good Fantastic Four stories. I think it's around 400. It is. They're
going to go later.
Yeah, you got to go wild. Like to get like good Fantastic Four stories, you gotta go around a while because it's around 300, 400 or so when Dr. Doom starts getting into magic.
When he takes the magic.
Once Doom starts getting into magic, that's when the Fantastic Four starts getting good. The early shit with Agatha Harkness is good. But early Fantastic Four stuff is really all just kind of campy. It really kind of is.
I think it's meant to be campy though. Mm-hmm. It's more again, their whole moniker is Marvel's First Family.
Yeah.
It's meant to be campy as shit. So sure. Yeah, I would definitely say later. And then second question, I want to buy shirts for the pod, but I can't find that on a site, or do I just DM you? I like to support the pods I listen to, and while I wait on hoodies, I will still purchase shirts if they're available. So you can go to tpublic.com/user/Mr. J Washington. Let me make sure I got that right again. It's tpublic.com/user/Mr. J Washington, MRJAYWASHINGTON. That's for Mad Titan t-shirts. Now, I have the supervillain shirts. I got supervillain t-shirts available from sizes large through 3X. Hit me up personally, DM me, let me know what size you want. I'll let you know the amounts, and then we'll take care of that all that from there. But for Mad Titan shirts, hoodies, all that, tpublic.com/user/Mr. J Washington. I would say do that. All right, let me make sure that is the last email that I have. All right, that's that. That is that. And I got a voicemail in, and here is the voicemail.
Yo, Jay, what's up, man? It's your boy BC. Yeah, dog. So I was on the show a couple episodes ago, whatever it was, and I was like, you know what? I don't think that Wanda is the bad guy in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Going back, looking at that Super Bowl commercial. Yeah, I think she's one of the bad guys. Yeah, I was definitely wrong. Yeah, she definitely one of the bad guys, bruh. Just wanted to drop that in, let you know. Okay.
Yeah, you were hella wrong.
He said who?
Wanda. So we were talking about. He was like, so he was on the show. BC was on the show a couple weeks ago. He's one of my good friends, and he was like, I don't think Wanda's one of the bad guys. So I was like, nigga, she is the bad guy. What are you talking about?
Bad guy. Yeah, probably. Yeah, and it's probably a bad Wanda variant. Like it's not the Wanda we know.
It's the Wanda we know.
Oh, it's her. Okay,
it's the Wanda we know. It's our Wanda, but she's gonna be because her whole thing is the loss of the kids, vision, all this, and everything.
See, that's weird because in the comic books, in response to all of this, we get disassembled and we get the no more mutants. So like
which again, that's what everybody thought WandaVision was going to be. Because again, all of them were House of M. Everybody's like, this is House of M.
They're like, we're gonna get. I knew for sure the twins were coming, and then the House of M. Yeah.
But the problem is, you can't give me a line, no more mutants, when there aren't mutants.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but again, everybody's like, again, I think she's the bad guy. I think, again, depends on. Everybody is now believing because we're getting Patrick Stewart that we might get Fassbender, Michael Fassbender showing up and saying, I'm your father, from another world or some shit like that. And it's like, come on, y'all just want that. I mean, I get it, but we all thought we were getting Fassbender in WandaVision, and you just got Evan Peters.
Once we saw Evan Peters, everybody was like, oh.
So but again, she's the villain. Again, I just want to see. I trust this. Again, I trust this universe. Sure. I trust this universe.
I'm just because I know what is supposed to happen because XYZ has now happened, but because Z hasn't happened, I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Since there are no mutants, what happens in this space of saying instead of saying no more mutants?
But that's like I said, I was just like, my thing was always that whole in Feige we trust.
Sure.
For the most part, this man has had maybe 2 or 3, if that, bad movies overall that people would consider out of 27. That nigga's track record is relatively good.
Yeah.
So
Thor 2, Iron Man 3, Eternals.
Yo, I'm not gonna shit on Eternals. Hey, bro.
I don't know. I'm kidding. I haven't seen it. I'm just everybody else shits on it. So
everybody, because a lot of people.
I haven't seen it. I had no desire to see it.
Well, for me, Eternals again, having read the saga, having read the story, understanding the characters, I know what I went in again with the comic book mind expecting. But I also, every time I watch these movies, I give them the benefit of the doubt because I understand that you cannot completely translate comic book pages to the screen. It just don't work.
Yeah. I read the Eternals that I read was the one where like there was only 2. There was a war and there was 2 left, and then they ended up basically being Adam and Eve.
Having to repopulate.
And they had the thing called the apple that. So that's the Eternals that I went, and I was like, that's not the Eternals that I know. And then I was like, okay, all right, let me see. It's the different. And I was like, oh, it's the other Eternals. Okay. And then I was like, oh, it's Black Knight and all those dudes. Okay.
I also told people, I was like, yo, this movie introduced 12 motherfuckers. You know how hard it is to introduce 12 people in one movie? So it is what it is. But listen, that's all I got for this week, man. Thank you to everybody that sent emails. You can email me, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, and you can call the hotline 818-276-6947. Richard Douglas Jones, bro, thank you for rocking out with your boy, man. I appreciate you, fam.
This has been so fun. Please have me back again.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, man, listen, tell the people how they can find you, everything you got going on.
Man, you can find me on everything in social media at R. Douglas Jones. The show Black Nerd Power, you can find that anywhere you get podcasts. Right now, you can also follow me on Twitch at Black Nerd Power. I'm about to start playing Horizon Forbidden West. I started it yesterday, and I cannot wait to play this game. I've been been playing it for a while. Let's see. If you're in the Memphis, Tennessee area, I will be performing at the High Tone in a couple of weeks. I'll be down in Atlanta in April at the Laughing Skull. But yeah, man, just anywhere you can find me, man, check it out.
All right, y'all already know how to find your boy. Twitter, Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. I guess I should say TikTok too. I was trying to put shit up on that, but I ain't got the patience to try to aggregate that shit all day, every day. You are here. Please make sure you like, subscribe to the pod, rate the pod wherever you listen to it, man. Make sure you rate it, help it get up in the algorithm. Patreon, join my supervillain squad, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. Shows a lot of love and support if you want to support the show. And also for those who hit my one-on-one with the supervillains here, we sit down and we talk for about 30 to 45 minutes about whatever it is they talk about. And all the conversations are interesting, unique, and different. And I want to give a lot of love to all the members of my squad who are also producers of the Mad Titan Podcast. With that, Alberto Rios, thank you so much for being a member at the 101 tier. Brock Severson, Chauncey Woodson, thank you for being at the 101 tier. Cheryl Corman, Chris Lee, thank you for being at the 101 tier. Chris Conley, Dan Binky, David Adams, Davlin, Edward Wilshire, Fanboy Cantina, Fillmore Pockets, Fred Castillo, Hillary Nellums, James Robin, Jim Payne, thank you for being at the 101 tier. I know you've been so busy. We've got to schedule your 101s, brother. Jolene, thank you for being at the 101 tier. Justin Square, Kenneth Daisy, Kirsty Oliveria, Marcus Burton, Marlon, AZ Badfish, Patrick Harden, Quentin M. Milrow, Randy Constance, thank you for being at the 101 tier. Rudy Ueda, thank you for being at our 101 tier. And Soul Govin. Again, if you want to show some love and support, please, Mad Titan, catch me on Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. All right. All my stand-up shows, I got so much shit coming up between stand-up and wrestling and everything. I am bouncing all over these multiple worlds for y'all and your entertainment. You can also check out my scene in Dog, the Channing Tatum movie in theaters. Granted, some of the scene got put on the cutting room floor, but that's what happens in this business, so I ain't mad. All I know is I still got paid the same, and I had to audition for the role, and I'm in the cast list. That's all that matters to me. I will holler at y'all next week. Don't go nowhere. Take care. I'm out. Bye.